the business that got eaten up made their clients pay for their inefficiencies. And eventually they paid the price. That's it. I don't care how loyal people are or this or that. If you make people pay for your inefficiencies over time, you will eventually pay the price.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Today's podcast is my mantra for 2026. And my mantra for 2026 is the following. Do not let your clients pay for your inefficiencies. Let me say that again. Do not let your clients pay for your inefficiencies. There's a conference that I went to a couple weeks ago. I know I talked to you guys about this on the podcast recently. And if there was one quote, one line, one saying that stuck with me, it was that. Do not let your clients pay for your inefficiencies. If you look at so many businesses and you look at businesses that had done so well, but they're gone today, and a competitor just ate them up, it was because the business that got eaten up made their clients pay for their inefficiencies. And eventually they paid the price. That's it. I don't care how loyal people are or this or that. If you make people pay for your inefficiencies over time, you will eventually pay the price. So don't do it. All right. So let's talk about some examples. And then I want to give you guys some practical ways that you can make sure that this doesn't become your demise in 2026 and beyond. All right. Let's talk first about Kmart. Let's talk about Sears. Let's talk about JCPenney. Let's talk about all these companies that were dominant. Burdines. These companies were dominant when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, my mom would go to Burdines like all the time. I don't know if many of you know Burdines, but I know you know Sears and you know JCPenney and you know Kmart. Okay, JCPenney, Sears, and Kmart were national. They were everywhere, and they were the talk of the town, right? I'm just thinking Sears. Sears used to have these catalogs. I don't know if you guys remember that. Sears had catalogs, and the Sears catalog would come out, and you know, you can pick out the things that you want in the catalog, and then I guess, I don't know, you order it over the phone. I can't remember how it was, but like Sears was dominant. You always went to Sears for everything. You went to Kmart for everything. Like those were the places. But then over time, there were this company, this bookstore, it was called Amazon. Oh yeah, Amazon that came out, and over time they started to become the new norm. They just became more efficient. It's really it. If I wanted anything from Kmart, I had to go either in my parents' car or when I had my car, and you had to drive to Kmart. If I wanted anything from Sears, like, yeah, you had the catalog, but for the most part, you had to go to Sears, you had to drive to Sears, you had to pick up the thing from Sears. If I wanted something from JCPenney, it's the same thing. But Amazon was different. Amazon said, you know, we're going to make this more efficient for you. You can buy stuff from us. We can get it to you. Okay, maybe it's going to be a little bit longer than you having to drive to your local Kmart, your local Sears, but we're going to make it so easy for you to get it. We're going to store your credit card. You're going to click a button and you're going to get this thing. And you're going to get it for the most part within 2 days. And there's going to be about 40% of times that you can actually get it within a 12-hour span. And there's going to be some time that you can get it within a 3. It's about 10% of the things that you get from us. And they just became more efficient. And now they are dominant. And Kmart, JCPenney, and Sears are basically gone. I mean, Sears and Kmart are gone completely, but JCPenney is like nearly gone altogether. Here, let's talk about Blockbuster. Same thing, right? Blockbuster was dominant, but they made us pay for their inefficiencies. What was the inefficiencies? On a Friday evening, after work or after school, you would go to Blockbuster. You'd have to go there and you'd have to pick out the movie. You would have to hope that the movie was going to be there. Sometimes you'd have to stay an hour, hour and a half waiting for somebody else to drop off a movie that's supposed to be dropped off that day, hoping that you can get the movie that you want. And if you couldn't get the movie that you want, then you had to pick another movie. Inefficient. Let's go to Netflix. Netflix, you can have whatever movie it is that you want that they have in their category. And it doesn't matter how many people are watching it. We can all stream it. Blockbuster made us pay for their inefficiencies. They eventually paid the price. That is what I mean by don't let your customers pay for your inefficiencies, because eventually you will pay the price. So what does that look like for us? For the most part, you guys are listening to the podcast, you're in healthcare. What does that look like for us? That looks like is that every person that's coming to us, we are making them have to come to us in order for them to get the value. That's what it looks like. And so we think, oh no, that's what everybody wants. That is not what everybody wants. A lot of people want that, but not everybody wants that. And even though you're like, well, I'm good because I have a schedule that's filled enough for me. Okay, that's great. But the reality is that you can be helping so many more people and it not even take much more of your time. And you can be helping them by just being efficient and giving them some aspect of the result that you could get for them in person. And it would help them immensely. Okay, and I'm going to give you this example. Right before I did this podcast, I just did a monthly community call for my Income Accelerator group. That is a group of people that are wanted to see how I'm using AI to monetize myself like right now. Okay, so here's what happened on today's call. Today's call, I actually showed the members how to use or how to develop a skill called vibe coding. So what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is basically building applications, apps that you could put on the App Store, the Google Play Store, apps that you can just have in your browser. And these apps basically could do the same thing that apps do on the Google Play Store or the App Store. But instead of you having to write a whole bunch of code and get any type of technical people to build the apps for you, you can just tell this AI software, hey, this is what I want to build. I want to build a tracker, and I want the tracker to be able to track my water. I want to be able to track my home exercise program. I want to be able to track my meals. I want it to be able to track my personal development. I want it to be able to track foods. I want to be able to track this, that, whatever. And within minutes, the app can be created. You can charge for the app. You can have it to where it's just opt-in only. You can do so many amazing things by just telling this software what it is that you want to do. That is it. There's no catch to it. That's it. The softwares that I used today for demonstration were called base44.com, so BASE44.com, and Replit, REPLIT.com. These are softwares that you can tell it, this is what I want you to do, and it will build out an app, and it'll build out an app in 10 minutes or less. What? Don't make your patients and your clients pay for your inefficiencies. Here's the example that I did, and I did it right there in real time. I said to one of my clients, what's one of the things that you do for your parents and for your clients? So she's a speech therapist. She said, well, one of the things that I do with them, but this takes a lot of time, is over each visit, I get them to start to audit what are the foods that their child can tolerate. What are the foods that they sniff? What are the foods that they gag on? What are the foods that they don't touch? What are the foods that they do touch? How is the food prepared? What are the things that they do when they are in front of the food? Do they avoid it? Do they do this? Do they, all the different things. And they said that those usually, like, once we figure that out, that usually tells us some of the, I guess, dysfunction that is going on with their children. And I said, okay, so you're typically doing this way. Well, they'll come in for visits. I tell them they can track it. They can track it with a piece of paper or with a pen, and they can do this over and over and over again. And over time, we start to get an idea of what things is working against the child, what things are working with the child. Is this coming from their sensory system, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this into this software and let me see if we can create a system for this. Within 10 minutes, we're able to create an entire software platform that allows parents on their phone to be able to track all the things that their kids eat or the things that are put in front of their kids and how their kids are responding to it, how the things were prepared and how the kids, is it crunchy? Is it puree? Is it this? Is it that? And how are their kids responding to it? And we're able to do that in 10 minutes. So after we created this, I said to my client, how much time will this save? She says hours and hours and hours. More importantly, it makes it so easy for them to track and do. I'll get much more compliance. I was like, how long did it take us to do? Less than 15 minutes. How much money did it take from us? Zero. Don't make your clients pay for your inefficiencies. Today, the fact that we can create apps by just telling a genie what it is that we want, and the app can be created in less than 20 minutes with very little correction, is mind-blowing. And I want you to think, as you've listened to this podcast, I want you to think, what is it that I am doing that I've just done it this way forever? And people are okay with it, but I know I could be more efficient with it. I want you to, when you end this podcast, I want you to think of those things. And I want you to go open up those apps that I just told you that I did those things with. It's absolutely incredible. On January 24th, hopefully if you're listening to this podcast before then, I'm actually doing a summit. It's going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I'm going to walk you guys through how to create online products. But once upon a time, there was no way for us to create online products unless we were front facing. You don't have to do that today. You can create software like that. You can make things so much more efficient for people and not even have to be front facing. I can say now, every healthcare professional needs to do this. Because before, some of you wouldn't want to do it because you're like, I don't want to put myself out there. You have too many childhood issues. You don't have confidence in yourself. Okay, I get all that. Okay. But now you don't even have to put yourself out there. You just have to be able to think, what could I make more efficient for my clients? And boom, it's just created like that. Anyways, if you guys want to join the summit, go to smartsuccesshealthcare.com/summit. You can join it. It's free. There will be a VIP where we will give you all the recordings, all the prompts, all the frameworks that we use. We'll just send it to you and you'll get lifetime replays for the summit as well. So anyways, I hope that serves you. I hope that helps you. I want you to think of what is inefficient right now in your business and what can you be more efficient? Because if you are making your clients pay the price right now, eventually you will pay the price and it will hurt. So let's make things efficient. Let's go build some apps. Use Base 44, Replit. There's many other ones. Go check them out. And I want you guys to be more efficient with your clients. Love you guys. Till next time.